before getting in the game, start with the crowd. Again, I've been here going on 11 years, and when I came out, it wasn't like any other game I've been to. So I know it's been a long time since we had a crowd like that. Thank the students for coming out. They were amazing and loud, and then all the other fans that came out. A lot of people came from far away for the battle for the victory bell. So it was an awesome day. Kids, like, totally different atmosphere for our team, totally different home field advantage for our team. So it was pretty amazing day from that standpoint. From the time we pulled in the morning and walked down the hill, and all the tailgaters, and just so it was pretty cool. Even 30-some years of coaching, it still gives you goosebumps when you get in that atmosphere. So that was awesome, and we're, as a football program, very appreciative of everybody. The game, don't really feel much different than I felt afterwards. Nothing really different on tape. Like, first half, we had 5 possessions offensively. We put together a really nice drive. Should score a touchdown. We throw a pick. It was a bad play gone worse. We miss a block, and then we make a bad decision and try to make a play when a play isn't there. Initially, if we get a block, the play is wide open, and we're up 7-0. Obviously, that's a big turn of events early in the game. Then 2 of our next 4 drives, we're moving the ball, and we have 3rd and short, and credit to Cincinnati, they stuffed us. Missed a block and had chances to move the ball at a time when we're moving the ball pretty good, and you end up sitting at 3-3. We put it together another drive. We don't score in the red zone. So, you had 5 possessions, and you moved it on every one offensively, and you got 3 points. Then we drop a punt. Again, snap was not perfect, but Bev handled it, and then he kind of fumbled it. And again, obviously, big play in the game. You're talking about a 14-point swing on 2 plays in the first half that we don't execute, and credit. The punt, they didn't do anything, so they don't get much credit for that. But the first play they do, they defeat a block and got in Brett's face and caused the timing of everything to go away. And that defense gets a huge stop at the end. They hit Royer in a 2-minute, they put together a nice drive, and then we probably missed 4 tackles. Royer's pretty damn good. But we kept coming, and Kobe Hilton, our nose guard, ends up, from the other hash, hitting him right before he gets to the pylon. The ball comes out of the end zone. And, again, felt pretty good at half because I thought we knew we could stop him. We were doing a good job on Kiner, even though he's a tremendous, tremendous player. We were doing a good job on their O-line, even though their O-line's really good. And we knew we could move the ball, and we knew there was points out there, and said, hey, we're 1 half away. Got down 2 scores, and then from that point we got in a good groove. We got a big play on offense and scored, and then we had 2 straight possessions with the chance to tie and didn't get anything. Then they go up 2, and we come right back and score, and then we get a couple more possessions, and we drive down and have a chance down inside the 15 again late in the game to tie it up, and we don't get it done. So very hard-fought game. Like I said, after the game, our kids competed their tails off. There's a couple different times we were kind of down and out, and we immediately responded right back and kind of who they are. Got right back in it. Like I said, we had 3 possessions in the fourth quarter with a chance to tie the game, and didn't get it done offensively. So, but critical errors obviously always cost you in a big game or any game. And again, there was some huge plays that we have to make to put ourselves in a better position to win that game.
All right, questions?
Yeah, Coach, can you kind of hone in on the biggest takeaway that you feel you guys are going to take into Notre Dame from this past weekend?
Yeah, the biggest thing we talked about yesterday, just our execution on OD and special teams, and there's a lot of good things on OD and special teams. We did a lot of good things on defense, but there's things that we have to clean up. We lost leverage on a 60-yard run that was a huge play in the game in the fourth quarter, and we can't lose leverage on that play. So there's details and fundamentals that you're still fighting for the consistency you want. Defense is a little bit closer than the rest of the units. We did a lot of good things on ST, but obviously we have a critical error on ST. So it negates a lot of the good things we did. So you have to play clean football. And then offensively is the unit by far right now. Like, there was a lot of really good stuff. We did really a lot of good things. We had 380 yards and we didn't have any explosive. We got good explosives, but man, there's so much that we could do more. There's so many opportunities. There's a block here, there's a throw here, there's a route here, there's a mistake here, that we're leaving so much on the field. That there could have been. I mean, if we watch the tape you execute, you're saying, hey, you could have 500 plus yards, against a Power 5 opponent, and now you have 30-some points, and you probably have yourself a victory. And that's, again, some of it's obviously credit Cincinnati making some plays. Some of it is just our mistakes and key situations. Brett made a good check late, and we had an easy route on against cover 0, and we didn't run the right route, and that could have been a touchdown. Like, it was second to last offense play of the game. So there's things that we definitely we're more inconsistent. We're inconsistent everywhere, like every team is week 2. That's normal. But we're fighting for, like, hey, we don't know what play is going to be a big one. You don't know what play is going to be one. We look back on Sunday and say, man, that turned out to be a huge play in the game. It was play 27. We didn't know. It was play 62. We didn't know. It was an ST play. We didn't know. So just fighting to be consistent in everything we do against good opponents, and it gets magnified because sometimes you don't take great footwork against a like opponent, and you might get away with it a little bit. And then we have a couple 3rd and shorts, and we take bad footwork, and we don't get away with it. The play's over because it's not maybe a like opponent. You know what I mean? So everything gets magnified. And like we always say when we play the schedule we play, like, there's a good and bad to everything. Do I want to start off with Big 10, Big 12, Notre Dame? No, I don't want to start. You're on a suicide mission. But as I tell my team every day, like, everything we do that we do well really is something that we probably should keep carrying, because if we're doing it well right now against these guys, then it's probably a strength of ours, and you always want to play to your strengths. If we're not doing something well, it gets exposed immediately. Immediately. So it's like, okay, you can not do it anymore, but you got a long season left, so it's more like, hey, how do we get better here? You know what I mean? Sometimes it's not terrible, but you get exposed because there's a really high-end talent guy on the other side of the ball, And again, you look at a couple of short yard situations where it's just bad foot. And I'm not saying if we had good footwork, it works out perfect, but I know with bad footwork that, like, the play was over before it got started. And again, you watch the tape, and now we'll say, okay, well, that's if you played somebody lesser than you, maybe you're creating bad habits early in the year of bad footwork, and then it's going to get exposed later, So I say with our schedule, we'll know early. If we do things good, we'll know what we're kind of good at. If we don't do things well, they'll be on tape right away. We won't get away with anything. It'll be bam right in our face, and it'll cost us dearly. And so, like I said, there's always a pro and con. And that's what the nice thing is, you got 2 weeks into against a physical Northwestern team, and then you have a really physical and twitchy, explosive, athletic Cincinnati team. And again, it gives you, and for new guys, this is the speed of the game at this level. This is not this is how it looks like. It's over like this. You got split seconds to make decisions and put force on people, or you don't leverage their tailback. Guess what? He's really fast. That thing ended in a hurry. And it's a split second decision, and we just a little bit late with our eyes, and all of a sudden, you don't get away with that. Not against that. The Ohio State transfer can roll. So that's probably the biggest thing for us.
Coach, how encouraged are you by some of this early season explosivity from the offense and just making big plays?
Yeah, it's nice because Northwestern we were really poor. In credit to Northwestern, we didn't do any, we didn't get any chunk plays. Nothing was easy. There was just kind of, we're Cincinnati, we got some big plays, which obviously changes everything from momentum to just how you score points. You need to get big plays. So it was important. I think too, with that and with the previous quarter, one of the bigger takeaways is just over 8 quarters, you can see our quarterback's getting more comfortable. All right. And from first quarter Northwestern, and he's not there yet. He's not where he was coming off back-to-back relates. So Northwestern first quarter to fourth quarter, he would tell you, I felt better as the game went on. First quarter was a lot of sync and not just was not really in a good flow. And again, that's not just from not playing and coming off a tough injury. That's also from no spring ball and limited in fall camp. He did a lot in fall camp, but it wasn't like he took every rep in fall camp. He probably took half the reps of a normal, and then after no reps in spring. So he's, said, yeah, he looked a little rusty. I'm like, yeah, he was, And then even the Cincinnati game, you know, the one thing in the second half, at one point I said in the headset, I said, Brett's kind of in a really good rhythm. Like, this looks like Brett now. Like, he's kind of back there, and he's making, and not just throwing and accurate, just decision making. Like, he was checking things. He was like, you know, the big one to Cade was a check. There's a lot of things that he was doing that just, you could just tell, like, okay, Brett's in a pretty good flow. Usually as the game goes on, he starts to see things. That's an advantage for us, you know, and like, we came out the third quarter, it's kind of like we're rolling, and it's like, okay, yeah, five's kind of starting to look like the old five, you know. So, and I think he feeling comfortable out there and gotten a really good rhythm. I think he's still pretty ticked about some things earlier in the game, but you know, so that's, and again, I don't think it's, I mean, I still think we're a couple weeks away from him really getting back in us, and then with new receivers, timing got better and better as that game went on. Like, first week, the timing was just, right down to the last pick was just like, was it a crappy throw? Was it a crappy route? It's just the time, like, timing in the passing game is everything. And the whole Northwestern game, there's so many we are a little bit off. And we got some things done, and then Cincinnati was like, as a game, then all of a sudden, guys are getting open, the ball's on, you know what I mean? It's like, so all the time you miss because you don't play with these guys all spring and fall, you know? So to me, that's one of the bigger positives.
Does the run game just so far come down to playing against teams where maybe their line is bigger, stronger, faster, you know, a physical type thing? I know you kind of want to get things going by conference time so it can complement your passing game, but I mean, do you look forward to, you know, being able to get that untracked at some point?
Yeah, we have to. We like to run the football, and both Northwestern and Cincinnati game, there was some positive stuff there, but it's so inconsistent. It's not. Yeah, there's times that Cincinnati D-line got after us, but a couple key situations, it was a tight end missed block. Another key situation, it's a tackle's missed block, a guard's missed block. Another situation is we blocked up on our backs. Our backs got to hit the hole. So another situation, a receiver misses a block. So it's like, it's when you run the ball, it's everybody. It's running backs, O-line, tight ends, and receivers. And we just have consistent. Now, we play good opponents. I'm with you in really good fronts, and so that's part of it, but there's still stuff out there we can do, that we control. There's some run plays that we got on tape that Cincinnati, okay, they got after us. Okay, there's other plays. There's plenty of stuff there and we're not executing. So it still comes down with talking about our inconsistency, and our passing game, our run game is not to the level we need to be the best team we can be, let alone to beat these teams. But yes, we got to get going.
What are your thoughts about playing against a big ranked team in such an iconic stadium and on TV?
Just it's an awesome opportunity for us and a really cool experience to go to any type of venue like that. My personal opinion, we're going to the greatest venue on the planet. I've been a diehard Notre Dame fan since probably the first thing my parents taught me. Like, wasn't you got to go to school and learn, was like, this is Notre Dame football, this is Notre Dame basketball. This is the only team that matters on the planet. I didn't know there was professional sports, and I'm old enough that we didn't have cable, and we watched the game Sunday morning on review. Harry Callis is a big person in my life, you know, and people don't even know. I didn't even know he announced for the Phillies for years. I just thought he was the Notre Dame personal announcer. I didn't know he's a big Phillies guy, you know. So, I think it'll be a great experience. Anytime you get these, you know, Miami, Florida, anytime you get these big-time venues, it's an awesome opportunity, and you're going to be on national TV, and you get to show the whole world what kind of player you are, and you get to show the whole world what kind of team you are, and then you get just to go someplace that's really cool, and the environment there is amazing. So it's like any of the other big games that we get scheduled. To me, this one, you know, I think is more special just because I think it's a better place than everywhere else, but that's just my personal opinion.
Oh, what kind of challenges does Notre Dame bring?
Well, I watched the first half of the Purdue game, came home from a tough loss against our bitter rival. Then I watched the first half of the Purdue game, which I just thought, okay, and I always think in life you get what you deserve, and I'm like, we didn't get it done today. We didn't play our coach as good as we needed to get it done, so you get to go home and sit on your couch and just watch Notre Dame manhandle a Big Ten opponent. I'm like, God, this days just keep rolling along. This is the way it should be. This is what I deserve, you know. They are insanely physically gifted. Not even close to our first two opponents. It's not, and our first two opponents were a Big Ten team and a Big 12 team, and really, really, really gifted. We didn't play MAC teams the first 2 weeks. This team they're nothing like those teams. I mean, nothing. They are insanely talented. They've done a great job recruiting. They play really hard. They know what they're doing. They got a great secondary. They put immense pressure. With a bad secondary, I don't think the quarterbacks have enough time to throw the ball. By the end of the first half, I felt bad for the Purdue quarterback. I don't even know the kid. I'm like, this can't be this can't be any fun. Like, can't be any fun to be. I mean, and he's out there competing, and and late in the half, he's trying to switch the ball. First, I thought he threw a crazy hook shot, but then I saw in the replay, like, he was just fending for his life the whole time. He's trying to switch the ball, and the guy hits it, and the ball flops out. I'm like, man, can anything, like, this isn't this part of being in the arena. Some days it ain't your day, and it wasn't obviously Purdue's day, and Notre Dame obviously coming off a week where they didn't play their best football. Offensively, I mean, their tailbacks are amazing. Their quarterback is like a tailback. Like, Purdue couldn't tackle him, and then you watch the tape from last year, and guys in the ACC couldn't tackle. He's so athletic, but he's so strong and breaks so many tackles, and he's fast. They've got some really high-end receivers. They always have. I mean, Notre Dame's got tight ends. Their O-line, they lost a really good player in preseason, and they lost two other really good ones last week, so they're a little beat up front. But I coached her. Backups at Notre Dame, pretty good players. Like, they do fine in our leagues, So the guys that are playing they wouldn't have taken any visits to any of the schools that we're going to be competing against in a couple weeks. So, but they are unfortunate for them because they lost three high. The kid they lost in preseason, and then these two guys they lost last week. So, but they'll be a handful, and so no, they're good. It's like I said, you're going to have to play really well every snap to give yourself a chance. And if you take your foot off the gas, I mean, they tried to run the clock out. They're 35-0 with 40 seconds left last week, and they complete a ball, and it was a big play, but that was a holding. I'm like, and the announcer says, they'll probably just try to run the clock out. I was like 14 seconds left, and they were backed up first and whatever, and they just ran the ball to run the clock out, and the guy went 70 yards for a touchdown. I'm like, so it's not. It's immediate. We know we've played good people already this year that, like we said, mistakes will get exposed. Right now, you're a little bit late to the party. You won't be at the party. The party will be over. Be going X point field goal blocker. You'll be running your defense back out there. So it's an awesome challenge. It's the one I know our kids are super excited about. 3 weeks in a row. It's we got our kids gonna be juiced up, ready to play, and be excited about this opportunity. We just got to get them ready, mentally and physically. They've been through two really, really physical games right now. Health-wise, we're doing great, but that doesn't mean our guys aren't pretty dang sore right now. So we just got to get ready for that because it's going to be a physical battle. And they got great depth, and they use their depth on both sides of the ball. There's, running the guys. So they got to, their boundary corner, you can't complete a ball against. Like, somebody told them, like, yeah, I thought we can complete a slant on them. I'm like, you can complete a slant on anyone. Like no one's good enough to defend. Like that's it. That's all you got. You maybe get them on a slant. Like, it's hard to win a game that way, throwing slants at their boundary corner. But they're a really gifted group, and they do a good job. And it'll be great opportunity.